লগাকৈ তেনেকৈ নাচাবা বৰ মৰম লগাকৈ চালে তোমাৰ চকুলৈ মৰম লাগে তোমালৈ চালে তোমাৰ চকুলৈ মৰম লাগে তোমালৈ অ সুন্দৰা দৈ তেনেকৈ নাচাবা বৰ মৰম লগাকৈ তোক দেখি মোৰ গা কেনেবা লাগে তোক দেখি মোৰ গা কেনেবা লাগে অ সুন্দৰা দৈ তেনেকৈ নাচাবা বৰ মৰম লগাকৈ
Thank you so much, sisters.
Thank you. Thank you for all the vivaciousness that the northeast of India brought. Thank you, Soul Sisters. To continue celebrating the fullness of life, we have for you a little bit, apart from a little bit of noise, we also have radical visionaries. I'll try to talk louder, drown out the noise. We are so fortunate to be inviting visionaries of leadership across the fields of academia, education, and innovation. It is my absolute honor to invite on stage the speakers for the next session. If I could invite Dr. Dakshayani Khanna. Please put your hands together for this accomplished lady, the founder principal of Harvest International School, somebody who's been in academia for a lifetime, a senior educationalist who has established many international schools and run them successfully. This is a lady with a true legacy. Inviting Jacqueline Baptist. Jacqueline, please welcome Jacqueline coming from the USA, the co-founder and CEO of Future Lesson, a rapidly growing online adaptive education platform for K-12. I invite Member of Parliament, Dr. Marian A. Azar. Dr. Marian? Claire Sketcher. Look at these two lovely ladies in the blue. Please let me introduce you to these powerhouses of women. In the darker blue is Claire, the founder, Laverstoke Park Education Center, somebody who established a 2,500-acre land of biodynamic farming and who welcomes people and young people from all over the world to come and visit her ecological miracle. And that member of parliament from the Egyptian government is also the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, the chair for Women and Youth Committee. It's an honor to have her sitting on this platform. If I could invite onto the stage Yasmin Al-Balushi. Welcoming Yasmin, coming from Oman, the channel management specialist of Nama Holding. You see, each of these sisters from across the world are absolute beacons of innovation, leading a tribe of women and sisters around them for a better tomorrow. We can't wait to initiate this conversation with them, and I invite Dr. Dakshayani to please speak with us.
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here and to be talking to so many eminent achievers in different fields. And thanks so much for Women Economic Forum and Dr. Habib for giving us this opportunity to share our views. It's always awesome to talk to people who are in different fields because we would be thinking about our own perception of whatever is happening in the world. In education, things have changed. We all believe that in India alone, there are about 40% of children who are in schools right now. We are looking at this 40% become 100% tomorrow, and we are looking at how exactly they have to be trained and on what they have to be trained. That has been a question. There were years in India wherein when a parent was called into the classroom or parent was called to the principal's room, the parent was a little afraid, thinking, why am I being called? There was a time when the teacher was called into the principal's room for something, she would be worried. But today, when a parent or a teacher walks into principal's room, we are worried because we don't know what kind of issues they have. Is the teacher putting in her paper? Or is the the parent has a complaint saying that this is not going to be there? We really don't know because the changes are so much that our education system and everything is still looking at what exactly needs to be done for the future world because we are not aware. End of the day, we look at making sure that we teach whatever is prescribed by the board. Along with that, we ensure that they get enough life skills and the development becomes holistic. They have some values in them and some life skills in them. So that is not going to go obsolete anytime. So definitely when they come out, these are going to be the goals that we set for ourselves. In our industry, there was somebody who was telling that she was in an industry that was male-dominated. Whereas in education industry, especially when you take the school level of education in India, it is definitely female-dominated. We have teachers coming from all parts of the world. We have teachers, who have got their kids and their family and everything, and they really work in. This is only one thankless job, wherein a teacher, when she starts in the morning, she thinks about her kids, and at the end of the day, when she goes to bed, she'll be thinking about what she needs to do tomorrow in the class. Of that little child in the class who is not able to actually learn what is being taught, and looking at making a customized curriculum for that child to ensure that he does better in the next class or in the next examination. That is the kind of teachers we have in India, and I'm really proud to be a part of teaching community, and I call myself a teacher, and nothing can be better than being a teacher because you're really looking at bringing out a lot of innovation and lot of enthusiasm in children to learn by themselves. There's a lot to learn. We might feel that we have done a lot, but end of the day, what we know is tip of the iceberg. So we need to be open for all these things. In my life, or as a teacher, this is my 30th year. I am a principal, so I have lost touch of teaching a little bit. But there are three different kinds of parents. One set of parents who come with an expectation. I'm already a doctor. I have set my nursing home. My children are here, and these children have to do their medicine. This is the part of Indian culture that I'm talking about. We don't look beyond medicine and engineering. So the parents, when they come here, they feel that, okay, I have set everything for them, and all they have to do is do their medicine and come and sit here and manage the nursing home. And the child will be standing there and saying, ma'am, no, I don't want to lead that life because I am actually looking at a life for myself. My parents were never there with me when I was growing up. I don't want to do that. So I really am going to be there. And the second set of parents who always look at, okay, I have been struggling throughout my life to get what I want. My children should not. So I want them nothing less than an IAS officer or an IPS officer or a doctor or an engineer. That is the second kind of people who keep on telling their children, saying that you people have to become this. So they're sacrificing 90% of what they earn on the children's education. So the child is obligated to do what the parent is actually wishing them to do. This is the second category wherein they're actually looking at children to be their future. They're reliving their lives through their children. That comes the second category of parents. And there are the third category of parents, more so in this generation, wherein they say, my child need not be subjected to any kind of pressure. So let them be what they want to. We have earned enough. Let them do. So there is no goal for the child to achieve. So looking at all these things, I think the teaching is a profession, and education is a platform on which we can do a lot for the future development of India and also children. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity, and thanks everybody, and congratulations for being here, because each one of you is an achieved person who can make that change in tomorrow's world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dakshayani, for sharing your inspiring thoughts, because even though you're an accomplished educationalist, you call yourself, this is your humility, that you address yourself as a teacher, and that you've dispensed this responsibility, which I do think is a divine responsibility to be a teacher, because you're giving birth to our tomorrow, really. And it's, you have dispensed it with utmost responsibility. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for creating our future. I invite Jacqueline Baptist.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jacqueline Baptist. I'm actually originally from Malaysia, but I moved to the United States maybe about 30 years ago. And the reason I speak a lot about education, and I'm in education today, is because education was really my freedom, right? Education gave me the ability to do what I would like to do today. And it's probably one of the things that I'm most passionate about in my life. I myself, I'm not a teacher. I come from a family of teachers, however. My mother, my grandmother, and all my aunts and uncles are teachers. So I really understand the value of what education can do for people. Today I just want to talk to you a little bit about what I see happening in the world. In the last few years, I've been so fortunate to work at Microsoft, and we've worked a lot with education and education technology. And we see a lot of things that are changing for young people, and they're struggling to adapt, and they're struggling to adapt to the new workforce and to get the new skills that they need. There's a lot of talk about coding and being able to do computer science and coding, but we all know that not every child in the world is going to want to be a coder. That's just not how it works. There are a lot of kids who love arts, who love reading, writing, who want to be journalists, social activists, and these are such important things in society. However, there's just a very common thread that every child needs, no matter what they want to pursue in the future. And one of them is critical thinking, some level of computational thinking, communication skills, collaboration skills. These 4 skills are so important for children, no matter where they are and what they want to pursue. When I speak about computational skills, I'm not talking about computer science. I'm talking about the ability to take a problem apart, understand it, analyze it, and put it back together again. That is something that we're really starting to look at in curriculums to see how it can be integrated for children to really be able to do this in the future. Critical thinking. A lot of curriculum now includes real-life-based scenarios where children can think about, what if I'm in this situation or I'm in another situation? What do I do as a critical thinker? Those are really important skills. And the types of studies that you might pursue in order to understand critical thinking is, philosophy. It's so far away from computer science, right? But yet it's so relevant. It makes it relevant to what kids need and the skills children need. Enough about online and enough about what the future brings. But I do want to speak about a couple of things just for a few minutes. One thing I see when I come to WEF is the amount of support and the amount of generosity among the participants. And I want to just acknowledge that as a person growing up, I've had so many great role models, including my mother, my teacher, my boss, and my peers. People who've really supported me in what I've wanted to do. And I'm just grateful. I just want to say that I'm very grateful to be here, because I see that in this room, and I see that at the conference, women supporting women who want to do what they love in life. And thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, also for you highlighting the importance of critical thinking. That's really fantastic. If I could invite Honorable Member of Parliament, this lady in the Egyptian House of the Parliament, we welcome you, Dr. Marian A. Azhar. What an honor.
Thank you very much. Dear all honorable guests and wonderful ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure and honor to be in the Women Economic Forum in India, where there is the old civilization that we are really impressed about. It's also a pleasure to be amongst inspiring, powerful ladies and gentlemen who are supporting the women everywhere in the world.
Yes.
I'm grateful and thankful to God who has given me wonderful parents who are the real reason for why I'm here today. They are the reason of my success and everything, and I offer it to them. They are everything. Beside being a member of the Egyptian parliament, and I'm honored and thrilled to be there to serve the people of Egypt, I would like to talk about the status of women. We are 15% women in the parliament, and we target for more, and we are happy to work very hard to serve Egypt. Egypt has a political will to empower the women, and we have a lot of empowering happening now. The National Council of Women, I'm a member of two committees, the Foreign Affairs and the Scientific Research Committees as an academic. We serve a lot of women all over Egypt, and it directly reports to the president, and this shows the importance of the National Council of Women. I'm also the chair of Women and Youth Committee in the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace. And this is something very honorable, because the mission of spreading tolerance and peace is a very refined mission. And the women should be the real ambassadors of tolerance and peace. You know that women are very influential, and they can influence a whole society. So empowering women with this Parliament of Tolerance and Peace that has more than 50 countries, members, and trying to spread the word together with the Global Council for Tolerance and Peace is an important mission that I like to keep moving on, and like to push having women all over the world working with us. As an academic, and this is like the comfort zone of helping students, and I here recall the Mahatma Gandhi quote, who said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi. So only a life that is lived for others is a life that is worth living. And as an academic, our mission is to serve the students, to empower them, to show them the way to go. And I will tell you a little story about one of my students. He had finished his degree with a Master of Engineering without a thesis, but I got one of his papers published in a conference without telling him. I surprised him. And we published many conference papers. And one day I called him, I said, you know what? Go apply for a PhD. And now he's a PhD student in Dublin University. And he called me, he said, I'm very happy, I'm very strong there, I know what I'm doing, I don't need anything, I'm very happy that I'm there. So influencing someone's career is something important to do. You know what, as a member of the International Parliament of Tolerance and Peace, I'm getting back to them, I remember something, a quote from Mother Teresa, who said, if we have forgot peace, that is, we have forgot that we belong to each other. We do belong to each other. We have the mission of empowering each other and empowering our students, and that is why through research, through engineering, who has the advances of the universe, we are responsible of doing a lot of work to empower our students. And I also recall Mother Teresa, who says, it's not about how much you give, it's about how much love you put in giving. We as academics need to put a lot of love in what we are giving, and I will define and end by saying that success is about seeing your goals, understanding the obstacles, creating the mental picture, clearing your mind from self-doubt, embracing the challenges, staying on track, and showing the world you can doing. And finally, I would like to say that women is an abbreviation of a lot of good letters. Women are wonderful with W, optimistic, marvelous, elegant, and needed everywhere. Finally, a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she's put in hot water. Thank you, wonderful women. I would like to thank very specially Dr. Harbin Aurora, who has gathered us in this wonderful, inspiring gathering. Please join me in giving her a big clap of hands.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member of Parliament from the Egyptian government. You are indeed an ambassador for women worldwide, a great leader with vision. What an honor. I'd also like to mention in this moment that behind a woman of this stature and power and success and heart stands her proud parents, Mama and Papa, traveling all the way from Egypt. To all the mamas and papas who are not in this room but are in our hearts. Mama and Papa, talking about great visionaries, it is an absolute honor to invite to speak with us and share her phenomenal journey. I invite all the way from Hampshire, United Kingdom, Claire Sketcher.
Thank you very much. I'm so humbled to be here today. Mine is a very simple story. 1990, I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, with my husband. I was pregnant with my eldest son. I have 4 children. And I was really worried about all the chemicals that were in the food that was available. I bought a book about organic farming. And 10 years later, my husband and I left the company in Atlanta. We moved to England. We have a 2,500 acre or 1,000 hectare farm. We farm organically and biodynamically. A couple of years after we started the farm, I brought my elder daughter's reception class of 6-year-olds out to the farm just for a visit. And at the end of the visit, I said, so where does food come from? They named different supermarkets. They didn't actually realize why farms existed. So that's when I started trying to reach out to primary schools around our area. And to date, in about 15 years, we've had almost 20,000 children visit for free school farm visits. What do we do? Thank you. What do we do when they come? We try and do a variety of different things. We started off basically with the primary school, trying to teach them where food really comes from, why farms exist. Then we moved into the secondary schools. So we're trying to inspire future generations of farmers, food technologists, careers around food farming, but also sustainability. We talk a lot about the impact of the environment on what we do and how we live, and why we've chosen to farm organically and biodynamically ourselves. One of the biggest things I find is how distanced we've become to where our food originates from. We have secondary school science teachers who come with their classes, and they're mothers themselves. And when I ask them, why does a cow produce milk? They have no idea. They're really surprised. And that's really shocking to me that our teachers, it doesn't come into the curriculum, and we need to embrace all aspects of agriculture and food production in what we do. We have about 1,500 water buffalo, which is really unusual in England. So we get the children to go and meet them. They go and they feed the buffalo, the calves with milk. They go into the milking parlor so they understand you don't have to slaughter a cow in order to get the milk out. And we do all sorts of different hands-on activities. One of the most popular things we do is match the poo. Now, there are probably not too many ladies here today who are going to be talking about poo, but we talk about poo a lot on our farm. I went round myself with a whole load of paper plates and shovels, collected poo from all of our different farm animals, got it preserved in resin so it's not scratch and sniff, which is what the teachers are always worried about. But we talk about what animal pooed what. So what did they have to eat before they pooed? And then after that, when we go and visit our compost site, we have a 9-acre compost site. We produce about 50,000 tonnes of compost a year from green waste. Quite a lot of that goes back on our own farm, and we sell it outside as well to golf courses, farmers, where they want to farm more holistically. So matching the poo is an important part of what we do. My youngest son is dyslexic, and I realized early on that although he's incredibly intelligent, he learnt differently. So I think trying to engage children in a fun way was really important for me. And I think none of us like to take ourselves too seriously, and me least of all. One of the other things we try and do is talk about the environmental impact. I started the 1950s Farmers Pack Lunch Challenge. So basically, that was before sandwiches appeared in plastic or green triangles. So they have to come with a Tupperware box, which is sustainable. We look at what they've got in their lunch box as well. So have they got like a cheese sandwich? Have they bought a piece of fruit? Or are they just on processed food? And then we look at the environmental impact of their waste. So they have to divide it all out into plastics. What can go on our compost site? What's paper? And we have a look at that and talk about, a crisp packet that may be in our environment for another 200 years. Is that how we want to live? So we do a lot of different things, also trying to inspire entrepreneurship as well, getting all of the children to plant a herb salad when they come. They bring a recycled yogurt pot, they fill it with the world's best compost, which of course is ours, and then they plant a mixed herb salad, and they take it back to school to grow. So we don't ask children if they like to eat salad, because most of them will say no. We ask them to let us know, do they like the red leaf salad, the green leaf salad, or the purple leaf salad best? We create a competition, and that means they're actually eating it, growing it, and eating it and enjoying it. And also we try and talk to them about enterprise. How could you, as a young person in school, earn some money, grow some seeds, plant herbs, use your windowsills? You don't have to have a huge amount of space in order to make a difference. And by just teaching them practical learning skills, you hope that you have planted a seed for life. I think some of us are obviously very accomplished here in the academic world, but some of us are also less academic, like myself. So my memories of school were the sort of very fleeting moments of glory when I came second in the egg and spoon race, and the occasions where you got into trouble. But my other memories were my school visits. And that's what I try and do with our school visits, is to make a memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire, for doing the phenomenal work that you do. We've always heard this, that let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food. So what you're doing, I think it's creating this wave of change from our tummies to the farm. So thank you for bridging that gap, because we're losing that intrinsic understanding of where our food is coming from. We're all, we're just becoming grocery shoppers. That's why it's important that it's touched us so deeply that you're getting kids to grow their own salad in devious ways. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'd like to invite our last speaker for this session, inviting this lovely lady from Oman, Yasmeen Al-Balushi.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Dr. Harbin, for inviting me to share my story in front of all of you here today. My story starts one day, 28 years old, when I was born, and I have a problem in my backbone, and all the doctors in my country say that I'll be disabled and I will not be able to walk. All my family members convinced with what the doctor said, except one person, my mom, did not convince. And she did not believe in what the doctors said. All the family members tried to convince her, but she couldn't. She started searching about a doctor, orthopedic doctor, or a visitor, professor visiting Oman or other neighbor countries. And finally, she found a doctor in Abu Dhabi, a visitor professor, and my parents and I met that doctor when I was 5 months old. And what the doctor did when he saw me, he said to my mom, I have to test her mental health and to test her physical health. So the first thing he did is he threw a pen on a floor, and as a child, I immediately moved towards that pen. And he tried this several times, and in each time, I did the same. It was the same reaction every time. He said to my mother after the treatment days, he said, your daughter will walk, your daughter will be a clever, and one day your daughter will be a leader. Since that day, my mother dealt with me as a leader. And I grew up with this concept. Since grade 1, I'm the leader in the class. Since grade 1, I'm one of the honor list students in my school. And at the university, I'm the first girl who led a student group and organized an international conference organized by a group of students. And the big movement in my personality was when I joined the company I worked in Nama Holding. I met with my superwoman, my super boss, and my teacher who inspiring me every day. She taught me how to deal with different people. She taught me how to deal with a variety of personalities. And she taught me how to convince others with my opinion and with my ideas. When I face challenges, she just keep reminding me, one day you will be a leader and you have to solve your problem by yourself. I'll not help you anymore. Yeah. And therefore, she sent me several conferences. She sent me several courses to sharpen my skills and to make me a great leader. And therefore, I'm the youngest employee, over 2,800 employees in my company, who has employees reporting to me. And I led all the department projects, which are a group level projects. Just to conclude with my speech, I want to say something. I want to share a message to all of you. All dreams could be achieved when you educate yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you trust yourself, when you create a supportive environment which could help you to achieve your goal. Just believe in yourself and go ahead. Thank you.
In that gentle voice and that very soft presence hides a fierce woman who has broken the prism of stereotypes that shackled her. Anything is possible. And actually, this whole panel is a celebration of just that. Anything is possible. So this is in celebration to all the possibles that you have created in the world, ladies, all of you, to each one of you. And we'd like to celebrate you by presenting these awards. I invite
Dr. Dakshiani Khanna, Woman of the Decade in Education and Leadership. Jacqueline Baptist, Woman of the Decade in Education. Dr. Marianne A. Azar, Woman of the Decade in Academia and Leadership. Claire Schechter, Woman of the Decade in Farm Education and Leadership. Yasmin Al-Balushi, Woman of the Decade in Academy and Leadership. I request all the ladies.
I need to present the famous Egyptian papyrus. It's handmade. It's made from a plant that grows across the River Nile, and it's genuine, to the dear Dr. Harbin Aurora. And I'm looking forward to host you all in Egypt for the Women Economic Forum. Thank you, Dr. Harbin.
Thank you.
This is the Queen Nefertiti of Egypt, to dear Dr. Harbin.
And we know we're all meeting next March in Egypt as we celebrate the Women Economic Forum over the International Women's Day next year. Ladies, would you please come together? GL Bajaj,